Millions suffer from pain, billions spend on pharmaceuticals, but for centuries, one plant grew quietly in America, offering relief without side effects, without prescriptions, without addiction. How did it disappear from medicine? Today, we uncover the story of wild lettuce. There is a plant that thrives quietly along the roadsides, riverbanks, and open fields of North America, largely ignored by those who pass by. Scientifically known as Lactuca virosa, wild lettuce is more than just a tall green plant with jagged leaves and small yellow flowers. It carries with it a story that stretches across continents, civilizations, and centuries, a story of pain, relief, and knowledge nearly lost to time. The plant's defining feature is its milky white sap called lactucarium. When the stem is cut, the sap slowly oozes out, a resin rich in compounds that can calm the nervous system, dull pain, and promote sleep. Unlike morphine, opium, or many modern medications, it does this without triggering addiction or dangerous side effects. It is gentle, effective, and entirely free, a natural remedy ignored because it does not fit a commercial model. The earliest records of wild lettuce come from ancient Egypt. The Ebers Papyrus, one of the oldest medical documents in the world, dating back to 1550 BCE, describes a plant known as the lettuce of the gods. Egyptian physicians used it to soothe pain and aid sleep. They recognized that its sap contained medicinal properties that were both effective and gentle. Centuries later, the knowledge spread to Greece. Dioscorides, the renowned physician of the 1st century CE, called it Lactuca virosa, or bitter lettuce. He described the plant's milky sap and documented its use as a sedative and mild painkiller. Roman doctors followed similar practices, applying it for everything from battlefield wounds to insomnia, and passing knowledge of its preparation from master to apprentice. By the Middle Ages, wild lettuce had traveled across Europe, appearing in herbal manuals and medicinal compendia. Healers and apothecaries valued it for its ability to calm restless patients, aid sleep, and provide pain relief. Its effectiveness was not anecdotal. Repeated use over centuries confirmed its role in medical practice. By the late 18th century, wild lettuce reached the United States. American doctors quickly incorporated it into medical practice. Pharmacies stocked tinctures, lozenges, and dried extracts alongside opium and morphine. Patients knew it well, using it as a reliable remedy for pain, insomnia, and mild nervous disorders. Unlike stronger medications, wild lettuce required no prescription, no refill, and no recurring cost. It was freely available, practical, and safe. It was during the American Civil War that wild lettuce truly proved its worth. Beginning in 1861, both Union and Confederate armies faced a growing shortage of morphine, especially in the South, where supply lines were blocked. Surgeons faced amputations, gunshot wounds, and battlefield injuries with limited anesthesia. Desperate, Confederate doctors turned to wild lettuce. The plant grew abundantly along roadsides and riverbanks, providing a natural solution. They harvested the sap, dried it into a resin, and administered it to soldiers. Though milder than morphine, it allowed surgeries to proceed and eased pain in a way that did not lead to addiction or overdose. Contemporary reports note that wild lettuce saved lives by giving soldiers relief when synthetic opioids were unavailable. After the war, wild lettuce continued to be used in the United States, but European studies further validated its effectiveness. Polish doctors in the late 19th century conducted methodical research comparing wild lettuce to opium in treating pain, insomnia, and coughs. They found that while less potent than opium, it was free from dangerous side effects. Patients experienced relief without addiction, respiratory depression, or euphoria that could lead to dependency. One physician observed that in certain chronic conditions, wild lettuce even produced better outcomes than stronger drugs, demonstrating that gentler remedies sometimes surpass harsh pharmaceuticals. By the 1890s, wild lettuce was officially recognized in medical compendia. In the United States, it appeared alongside morphine and aspirin in pharmacopoeias.
British medicinal guides listed it as a safe sedative and mild hypnotic, noting its use in lozenges, tinctures, and syrups. In 1917, medicinal plant catalogs praised it as a remedy for nervous irritation and coughs, particularly when opiates or other narcotics were undesirable. The 20th century brought profound change. Pharmaceutical companies shifted focus from natural products to synthetic molecules that could be patented and sold for profit. Aspirin was synthesized in 1909, barbiturates appeared in the early 1900s, and acetaminophen emerged as a standard remedy in the mid-20th century. Laboratories abandoned plant extracts for chemically engineered drugs. Wild lettuce could not compete. It grew freely, could not be patented, and could not generate recurring revenue. FDA regulations began to tighten, requiring expensive clinical trials and standardized production. While synthetic drugs became the backbone of medicine, wild lettuce was quietly sidelined. By 1944, researchers declared commercial preparations of wild lettuce ineffective, largely because the active compounds degrade over time, a problem absent in freshly harvested sap but difficult to maintain in commercial products. Knowledge of proper preparation and harvesting faded. Despite this, wild lettuce never truly disappeared. It continued to grow along roadsides, riverbanks, and fields, waiting quietly for those who remembered its use. The counterculture movement of the 1970s sparked renewed interest in wild lettuce. People sought legal alternatives to controlled substances and rediscovered teas and tinctures from this forgotten plant. Researchers began to study its active compounds, lactucin and lactucarium. Laboratory tests on animals confirmed these compounds could relieve pain comparably to ibuprofen without engaging opioid receptors, meaning no addiction risk. Later studies suggested neuroprotective properties, indicating potential benefits for cognitive health. Today, wild lettuce is sold in health stores and online, often in capsules, dried leaves, or tinctures. However, product quality varies. Many commercial preparations contain minimal active compounds or are mislabeled. Effective use requires knowledge of proper harvesting, stems cut in late summer when sap is thickest, sap collected carefully, and drying or preservation done correctly. Fresh extraction remains the key to maintaining potency. The story of wild lettuce is not merely botanical, it is a lens into human history, economics, and medicine. It illustrates how remedies that cannot be monetized are often sidelined, regardless of their effectiveness. Wild lettuce teaches us patience, observation, and respect for the natural world. It reminds us that medicine once relied on knowledge passed down through generations, and that effective remedies do not always require laboratories or billion-dollar corporations. For those who engage with it, wild lettuce offers more than mild relief. It provides a connection to centuries of practice, a bridge between the natural world and human need, and a reminder that healing can exist outside of commercial systems. Its story also challenges us to think critically about modern healthcare. Why are some effective natural remedies ignored, while billions are spent on medications with side effects and addiction potential? Wild lettuce can be identified by its tall stem, jagged leaves, sometimes spotted with purple, and small clusters of yellow flowers. The central vein of the leaves is lined with spines, and when cut, the milky sap bleeds out. For medicinal use, late summer is the ideal harvesting time. The sap can be collected on plates or preserved in alcohol for tinctures, while drying the stems and leaves creates a brown resin suitable for teas. Foragers and herbalists stress careful preparation, as the active compounds degrade if mishandled or stored improperly. Unlike over-the-counter medications, which are standardized and mass-produced, wild lettuce requires attention and respect. This hands-on approach is part of its appeal. It teaches patience, observation, and engagement with the natural world. Despite its decline in mainstream medicine, wild lettuce persists. It grows across North America, from the fields of California to the riverbanks of Massachusetts, and in Europe and parts of Asia. It is not scheduled, regulated, or controlled. It grows freely, waiting for those willing to notice. The plant's story reminds us that nature offers remedies that have endured for millennia. Modern science continues to explore its compounds, but centuries of use already demonstrate its effectiveness. Wild lettuce is not a miracle cure, nor a replacement for modern medicine in all cases, but it represents a simple, accessible, and historically validated approach to managing pain and promoting rest. Its resilience speaks to a broader lesson that valuable knowledge can exist outside of commercial frameworks, that nature provides solutions when humans pay attention, and that some of the most effective remedies have been overlooked.
As we reflect on wild lettuce, its story stretches from ancient Egypt through Greece and Rome, across European herbalists, into the American Civil War, 19th century pharmacies, and modern herbal medicine. It survived the rise of synthetic pharmaceuticals, corporate monopolies, and regulatory barriers, and it still grows today, quietly, freely, and patiently. Millions suffer from pain, billions spend on pharmaceuticals, yet wild lettuce still grows quietly along our roadsides, free and unpatented, offering relief without side effects, without prescriptions, without addiction. Its story is a reminder that sometimes the simplest remedies have been overlooked, waiting patiently for those willing to rediscover them. Wild lettuce, the forgotten American pain remedy, stands as a testament to the enduring relationship between humans and nature. Its leaves, stems, and sap carry the wisdom of thousands of years, a silent guide for those willing to learn, observe, and reclaim knowledge almost lost.